Hey, what's going on, guys? Welcome back to another Kindred Fates video. Today we're going to be exploring the recently teased Kinfolk, codenamed Cinder Kinder. This Kinfolk was alluded to during the Kindred Talks 4 podcast featuring John and Sheila, and on a side note, the podcast was really informative, especially from like a programming perspective, so if that does interest you, I'll leave a link to it in the description. Now, the Kinfolk in question was stated to be something that's somewhat far away from completion, and thus at the time was not actually put on the progress board to avoid keeping it on the backlog for an extended period of time. Interestingly though, they did state that they would be adding it to the backlog following the stream, although as of recording this video, it's still not there, so we don't technically have a confirmed type for it, but I believe the name is pretty self-explanatory to say the least. Now, I have a theory as to who this Kinfolk is, and I'm sure many others have already speculated as such, but other than the name itself, we do have another key piece of information that makes this theory plausible. Now, before we get into the theory itself, let's take a look at the codename, Cinder Kinder. Now, the word cinder has a few definitions, including a fragment of ash, a partially burnt combustible in which the fire is already extinguished, a hot coal without a flame, a fragment of lava from a volcano, etc. I think you guys get the point. Cinder is clearly referring to the fire type, though one definition refers to it as a slab from a metal furnace, so perhaps the potential of a fire with a mecha lean, but we don't have really any evidence to support that other than that definition, so take with that what you will. Kinder, on the other hand, is a little bit of a mystery. In both German and English, the word kinder can refer to a group of children, or more specifically, a smaller group of children. Finding definitions for the word proved quite tedious, as it's spelt the same as the word kinder and is very seldomly used in modern English. This definition of the word kinder is actually used in the Kinder Surprise eggs. That's why they're called Kinder Surprise. It's targeted towards children. But anyways, with these definitions in mind, as well as some statements we've been given, especially during the Kindred Talks 4 podcast, I have two possible explanations for what we could potentially see with this Kinfolk. Now, the first and most likely option would be an evolution to Ember. Now, it's not just because of the typing. While yes, Ember is the only fire type line we currently know of, it could just as easily be any other fire type that we have not yet seen. No. There's a lot more that goes into this. So, firstly, it was stated during the Kindred Talks 4 podcast that they were working on a new smoke animation for Cinder Kinder, similar to Kainite's Smoke Mane, which had some sort of new way that they were going about creating it. If you look at both of Ember's hidden evolutions, both clearly have some sort of smoke associated with them. Now, I can't recall the exact origin of this statement I'm about to recite, but I remember at one point Rob said that if he had known how difficult it was to animate Kainite's Smoke Mane, he wouldn't have made it to begin with. He would have designed it differently. So that statement sort of makes it really unlikely, in my opinion, that this is a new evolutionary line. Even if they were holding back a design that happened to have some type of smoke animation, they could easily tweak it, as we haven't actually seen them yet. With Ember's evolutions, it's a bit dicier, as we have seen the shadows of both. While they technically could change the design given the tons of statements regarding the difficulty of creating this type of animation, changing the design would end up causing a little bit of confusion after showcasing it, so I definitely think that it is one of these two. Now, of the two, I think it's pretty obvious which one Cinder Kinder would be, as not only does it have more of a prominent smoke feature, but the ability Cinder is needed in order to evolve it into this specific evolution. I don't think it gets any more clear cut than that. Now, at this point, you may be thinking, well, what about Kinder? This Ember evolution is a final form. It's definitely far from being a child like Kinder suggests, and I have a theory as to how that could be explained, but I'd love to hear what you guys think in the comments as well. So, Cinder Kinder could sort of translate to child of cinder. Perhaps the word child or children isn't referring to the word in terms of age, but rather in terms of product. So like the product of cinder, or born from cinder, or even born from the ashes, as it were. This evolution, in a way, is the conception or product of the Cinder ability as well as level up. In terms of Kinder referring to a group or a plural, perhaps it's simply just referring to the idea that these Ember evolutions are the children of Cinder. Maybe they're rare, so it's a small group of them that exists. I'm not too sure on this part, so let me know what you guys think about that. Now, the other option, and I think it's personally far less likely, is that it is a new species, perhaps a base form to indicate the child aspect of sorts. And perhaps it could also have the Cinder ability, or the word Cinder could just be a play on the fiery aspect of this Kinfolk. But like I said, I find it highly unlikely given all the evidence pointing towards the Ember evolution. But anyways, guys, I hope this video was at least somewhat informative, and if you have anything to add, make sure to do so in the comments below. I always love discussing these things with you guys, especially when it's a more speculative video. So if you did enjoy the video, make sure to like and subscribe, and check out our subscriber Discord. Until next time, peace.